So, what if I told you that ancient sages discovered a biological hack thousands of years ago, and modern science is only just now catching up? We're talking about a single syllable that can deactivate your brain's fear centers, stimulate the longest nerve in your body, and instantly dial down your stress. And no, this isn't just spirituality, it's neuroscience. Let's dive into how this ancient sound can literally transform your mind. For thousands of years, the sound Om has been at the very heart of Vedic wisdom. The Mandukya Upanishad, one of the most profound ancient texts out there, says it's not just a sound, it's the primordial vibration of all creation, the very fabric of reality itself. Okay, I know, that sounds pretty cosmic, right? But what if that ancient wisdom wasn't just a metaphor? What if it was a precise instruction manual for our own nervous system? Well, that's the exact question modern science is finally answering. To really get how this all works, we first need to take a look at a critical piece of our internal wiring. Think of it as your body's built-in superhighway for calm. Everybody meet the vagus nerve. This thing starts in your brainstem, and it's basically the main on switch for what's called your parasympathetic nervous system. That's the part of you that tells your body, okay, chill out, it's time to rest and digest, instead of freaking out in fight or flight. And it's so powerful because it connects directly to nearly every major organ you have. They actually call it the Great Wanderer because it travels all the way from your brain, helping to control your heart rate, your breathing, and your digestion. It is the physical link between your mind and your body's ability to relax. And this brings us to something called vagal tone. You can think of it like muscle tone. The higher your vagal tone, the better your body is at bouncing back and relaxing after stress. It's linked to a better mood, less anxiety, even lower inflammation. But low vagal tone, well, that's associated with a whole list of problems, from depression and migraines to much more serious stuff. So the million-dollar question is, how do we improve our vagal tone? Well, here's the hack, and it's so simple, it's brilliant. Because the vagus nerve happens to pass right by your vocal cords, you can physically stimulate it just by creating a vibration. That's right, simply humming, or you guessed it, chanting, sends a direct signal up this nerve telling your entire system to just calm down. It's basically a form of self-administered therapy. So that's the theory, but this is where we get to the core of the evidence. What actually happens inside your brain when you do this? Well, the results are pretty remarkable, showing an immediate and powerful calming effect. So, researchers at India's National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences decided to put this to the test using fMRI technology to watch the brain in real time. They had people chant Om for about 15 seconds, and then they had them make a control sound, just a S sound. Now, the S sound was clever because it mimics the long exhale, but it's missing the one key ingredient, vibration. And you guys, the results were shocking. Just look at this. On the right, the brain making the S sound, pretty much nothing happens. But on the left, whoa, you can see the significant, widespread deactivation across key areas of the brain during the Om chant. Those dark spots, that's your brain literally hitting the brakes on its own stress response. Let's break down what we're actually looking at here. The Om chant specifically calms down the limbic system. That's the emotional, reactive, sometimes lizard part of your brain. We're seeing deactivation in the amygdala, your fear alarm, the hippocampus, which handles stress, and the anterior cingulate, which is tied to anger and impulse control. Get this. This is the exact same effect doctors see with expensive medical vagus nerve stimulation used to treat severe depression. You are essentially giving yourself a free, wireless medical treatment. So modern science is showing us the what and the how. But to really understand the why, we have to turn back to the ancient sages who documented this whole phenomenon in the first place. You see, the Mandukya Upanishad explains that Om, or AUM, isn't just one flat sound. It's a map of consciousness itself. The A sound, akara, vibrates down in the abdomen and represents our normal waking state. The U sound, ukara, moves up into the chest, representing the dream state. The M sound, makara, resonates in the head, representing deep, dreamless sleep. And then, crucially, there's the silence that follows. That represents Turiya, a fourth state of pure, blissful consciousness. And if that wasn't mind-blowing enough, here's a wild cosmic connection for you. Sound healers and even some researchers believe that when Om is chanted, it vibrates at a frequency of 136.1 Hz. Amazingly, This is thought to be the very same frequency as the Earth's orbit around the sun. It's like a grounding vibration that might literally tune your energy to the planet. So, after hearing all this, you might be thinking, okay, this sounds great, but do I need to go live in a monastery for 20 years to get these benefits? The data says, nope. In fact, you can upgrade your brain in less time than it takes to drink your morning coffee. Check this out. A recent study took medical students, and let's be real, who's more stressed than them, and found that just 15 minutes of Om chanting was way more effective than listening to relaxing music. It didn't just lower their stress more, it actually improved their brain function. We're not talking about small changes here. The students who chanted Om showed significant improvements in their memory for words and numbers. They had faster reaction times, and their stress and anxiety scores took a nosedive. The music helped a little, sure, but it was nothing compared to the powerful cognitive boost from chanting. All right, so you're probably thinking, I want in on this. But to get these kinds of results, technique does matter a little bit. So how do you do it correctly? It's actually much simpler than you might think. First, just sit with a straight spine. Take a big deep breath all the way into your belly. Then, as you exhale, begin the chant. Let the A sound, kind of like the U in umbrella, rise up from your abdomen. Then, feel it transition to the U sound, like oo in tooth, in your chest. Finish with that M humming sound in your head. Really feel that vibration moving up. And then, this is the most important part, just sit in the silence for 5 or 10 seconds afterwards. That's where you get to experience that fourth state, Turiya. One of the studies puts it perfectly, that long, controlled exhale is the absolute core of the practice. It's not just about relaxing, it's about invigorating. It actually awakens dormant centers in the brain. You are actively changing your brain's chemistry and function just with your own breath and voice. Look, we live in a world that is constantly triggering our fight or flight response, but it turns out we all have a free, built-in biological tool to fight back. An ancient sound, now backed by modern science, that can bring us peace and literally transform our brain. The only question left is, are you going to use it?